Well, hello, my soul friends. It is Victoria here to talk about the lunar eclipse in Scorpio. Yes, we have a lunar eclipse full moon happening in Scorpio on May 5th at 10:34 a.m. Pacific time. And I'm going to get into that a little bit more in just a minute. But first, I want to just invite you to pause with me. I think this is more and more needed. All of us need a reminder to pause, to connect to our bodies, to turn within, to ground, especially during this Taurus season and definitely during this eclipse. We have been through an eclipse portal here, to me, which is, it's all good. First of all, I want to say at the top, welcome to my channel, the Soul Nurturer channel, ever evolving, just as all of us are. This channel, my original intention 2 years ago, is shifting every day. I'm sitting with what else is wanting to emerge and what it's meant to be and why I still feel called. And it certainly is symbolic of our own individual, transformational, evolutionary journeys, right? Anybody feel that? Like, okay, I'm doing this and I know that it's shifting. I'm not sure what it's shifting to, or I'm not even sure what I'm shifting to. There's a lot of transformational energy, and especially during an eclipse cycle, which we have this year in 2023. We have 2 eclipse seasons. This lunar eclipse is the tail end of the eclipse cycle that started with the new moon in Aries, the solar eclipse. We'll have another one in October. And eclipse seasons are, they're like birthing portals to me. They bring to greater consciousness what we need to be aware of, and whether we're aware of it or not, we will be shifted in some way in order to fulfill the potential of our souls. And I think the evolutionary collective, right? So thank you for being with me here on the Soul Nurture channel. For those of you who are super patient with me, as I'm not offering as many videos as I used to, as I'm still collecting myself, I'm still sitting with myself quite a bit. In fact, I'm off of social media. I don't even look at my phone that much anymore. I'm really turned within, listening, questioning, being present to old subconscious material that's surfacing through me, and this is where we all are. And again, first of all, subscribe if you haven't. I have to do the commercial at the top and at the end. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Stick with me. I promise you, content's going to get deeper, richer, and more consistent as we go forward, as I move through my transition time of emerging, shedding, emerging, shedding, emerging. And this is the theme of this lunation cycle, this lunar eclipse in Scorpio, which means it's a full moon opposition, Sun in Taurus at 14 degrees in opposition to Scorpio moon in 14 degrees. And by the way, I will say at the top here, it's exact on my Sun. I'm 14 degrees Scorpio, and it's also activating my Mercury and Neptune, since, well, they're 15 and 16 degrees, so within 13 degrees orb, right? And so any Scorpios out there, any Scorpio moons, any Scorpio ascendants, we may be feeling this a little bit more, as well as our Taurus friends. And I want to talk about you because well, I'll get to that in a moment, but all the fixed signs will be aspected, but all of us will be aspected somewhere where this lands in your chart. So if you don't know where 14 degrees Scorpio is in your chart, this is where the moon is, and 14 degrees Taurus, this is where the sun will be in opposition, the axis of Taurus and Scorpio. Find those points in your chart, and this is what house will be activated, and where the activity and where the possibilities and where the possible intensity will be. So if you need help with that, reach out to me, contact me through my website, victoriajazwick.com. You can request a consultation. At this time, this will not be an offer for very much longer because I'm getting busy. But at this time, I'm willing to look at your chart for 20 minutes just to tell you where, these these lunation cycles will be occurring in your chart, or if there's any other significant event happening and you want to just take a peek, or just a general snapshot of your chart, a little soul check-in there to feel the resonance of yourself in your soul chart. That's why I love to look at them. So, okay, commercial over. Let's get back to this. There's so much to talk about. I want to try to just be as brief as possible, but yeah, this Taurus Scorpio axis, these two fixed signs. We want to see what they have to offer, and I want to say this really clearly. I always say this, so I like to remind everyone listening. Astrology is an interpretive kind of art, I think. It's an intuitive art, and it's not definitive. I'm not going to say this is exactly going to happen to you. I speak in possibilities. Ultimately, you have your free will. If you find resonance with it, pay attention. If you feel a body resonance, really pay attention. Maybe you feel your heart expanding, or maybe you feel some tingles or something. That means I'm speaking to you, or I'm speaking to your soul, and pay attention. But ultimately, even if whatever, again, this is astrology, the astrological weather, like, oh, there's a storm coming, which we could say about a lunar eclipse in Scorpio, a psychic storm coming, a soul awakening time, waking up out of our wounded selves, or revealing what's wounded in ourselves and in our lives, so we can emerge more possibilities. This is a time to purge whatever in the way of what's been hiding our power and potential. So I'm going to get into that a little bit more, but again, it's just possibilities. Okay. So I wanted to say this because I'm always amazed how much I've been studying astrology since I was a little girl, the basics, and every time I'm always learning, and I'm always pulled into these deep, like, oh gosh, so much more to learn, especially, the lunation cycle. And yes, I did tell you all that I would do a phase of the moon connected to the what moon phase you were born under and what that may mean for you. I want to do that. I will do that. But gosh, just looking into eclipses and eclipse season, solar eclipse, lunar eclipse, then we have the variations of that. So this particular lunar eclipse is called a penumbral lunar eclipse. And this is when it takes place, the moon moves through the penumbra, the outer part of the Earth's shadow, the penumbra. This type is not as dramatic as other lunar eclipses, and it just feels like a full moon. However, or maybe looks like a full moon, but because it's eclipse season, this is fated time, this is karmic, this is evolutionary. I love, there's a quote that I often use with eclipse season, and I don't know the origin, but I think it's spot on. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, well, it's not coming right away, so it'll probably, as I go through my notes, will come up. But it's basically, they're a harbinger of change. Evoking our awareness to what needs to evolve, or what will just naturally evolve. Sudden shifts, things we've been sitting with and haven't known what to do. The universe, God's going to decide for you, right? And I often say that why I love to talk about astrology is we learn about our human nature, who God created us to be. And then we learn about the supportive world that God has put us in. And everything is purposeful. Every transit, every placement in your chart is purposeful for who God created you to be. And so these aren't, in ancient times, yes, people were frightened probably of the eclipses because there was no light source other than the sun and the moon, right? And when the moon is suddenly in shadow, or the sun is eclipsed, that could be pretty, scary, right? Like, what's happening? And so eclipses were often, connected to very fateful times. And so that does continue with us. I mean, we do see and notice, and I always ask you to track, and please do tell me, by the way, how you have been feeling during this eclipse season. I know that with the new moon 2 weeks ago, I was exhausted. I was so unplugged and tired. This one, I'm feeling more energized, more coming, waking up more, and literally having so many dreams that are calling me to transcend where I've been stuck, into higher possibilities. So I'm curious, what are you noticing? What's been happening with you? How have your dreams been? How have been? We also are in a Mercury retrograde, and Pluto just went retrograde on May 1st. So this is a time where we really, Mercury retrograde is to slow down, pay attention. What are you noticing? What do you need to review? What do you need to redo? What do you need to recommit to? What do you need to reset? And this lunar eclipse is ultimate reset. Again, bringing up the unconscious, revealing what needs to be healed, revealing what's blocking us, blocking our light, keeping us stuck, so we can make that conscious choice to do something differently. And again, because this is kind of faded energy, and God, the universe, however you connect, is wanting you to emerge, evolve your potential. So, okay, I did want to say, full moon energy can feel intense in general, and that full moons can help us. I want to say help us feel our feelings. We need to feel in order to heal. So they come forward, they emerge something beyond. It's a clearing. And this full moon in particular, it's a time to really, really clear all the shame, all the regret, all of the doubt, all of the fear. I really would encourage for this one. I'm not a big, everyone asks me for rituals for the lunation cycles. And honestly, I do rituals when I need them, not because it's a full moon or a new moon. But this one, it's calling to me a real time to purge. This portal has been all about purging to emerge. It's what I called the lunar cycle, the solar eclipse. I need to slow down because I'm so much information's coming and I'm tripping over it in my mind. So pause here a minute. Okay, so this is a birth portal. You may hear astrologers talk about eclipse season being eclipse portal. For me, it's a rebirthing portal. With a new moon, we set intention. Or if we follow, the cool thing I was going to say about all the eclipses, it's like I've been going down this rabbit hole of so much to learn about the different types of eclipses and how these eclipse seasons are connected to previous eclipse seasons. So, for instance, this full moon in Scorpio connects back to when we had the new moon in Scorpio in 2022. So it's like this puzzle that you can put together, and I'm not proficient in that, so I'm not going to go there. But it's just another way. Every time I dive in deeper, I'm like, wow, our creator is amazing. If we pay attention, if we drop out of our judging, logical mind and drop into the soul perception, or the higher, I like to say the sacred view, the higher perspective of what's unfolding and how beautifully orchestrated all of this is, even though we see a lot of challenges in the world, even though we may be struggling personally, there's this beautiful orchestration meant to unfold our potential and our collective potential in this world. That's what I believe anyway. So one of the things I say about being a Scorpio, and tell me if you're a Scorpio and you relate to this, is the good news is I can see and be aware and feel everything. The bad news is I can see and become aware and feel everything. That, for me, feels like the essence of this lunar eclipse, because a lot's going to be revealed. And maybe you've already become aware. Like I know that I'm dealing with some stuff along this axis, so Taurus, Scorpio axis. Our possessions, what we own, what we value, our self-worth, relationships. So I'm talking about Taurus right now. That's one part of the equation. This could be, relationships, our relationships to the things we own and the possessions we have. And then we have Scorpio, which I think of it as like Taurus is rooted in the earth and Scorpio is rooted in the great mystery and soul and the undefined potential. And so these two want, it's like the opposition means we need to integrate. Like what do I need from Scorpio? What do I need from Taurus? And how can we work together with both of these energies? So this transformational cycle, and that's what it is. The eclipse bringing up these fated shifts that that invite us to integrate. Oh, so Scorpio, it's kind of like this too. It's like Taurus is what we're wanting to grow, grounded, practical Taurus energy. And by the way, this is where I'm going to do the happy birthday to my Taurus friends. I missed wishing you a happy solar return season because I normally do that with the new moon. And we didn't have a new moon in Taurus this year. We had 2 new moons in Aries, late degree Aries at 29 degrees. And I completely forgot to say happy birthday to you. So happy birthday to you. How's your birthday season going? Tell me how you're doing. I love Taurus energy. We all share this time in this Taurus season, an invitation to grow potential, to ground, to take practical steps. So that's another part of Taurus. Practical, methodical steps. But then we've got Scorpio moon connected to our emotions. So Scorpio's, going to be pulling our emotions. This is the rebirthing part. This is pulling forward whatever's been in our shadow or blind spots where we haven't been paying attention, and a desire and a need to purge. Scorpio is like, composting everything that's not working. It's connected to death and transformation, not literal death, but the death of something, the death of ending a relationship, ending a job, ending habits and patterns and beliefs that are not allowing you to rise with your potential. So we have, Taurus wanting to root you in the earth with possibilities, and Scorpio saying, what do you need to transmute, transcend? It's the alchemist, Scorpio energy, taking the lead and turning it into gold. And so this is what the invitation is. It's again evolutionary energy to fulfill our potential. So where you may be seeing more emotions and your subconscious patterns revealed. And again, please be super gentle with yourself and everyone else as we do this work together. And I want to invite you here to recognize that when you're judging and you're shaming someone else, that's your projection onto them. And I know the last few years, there's been a lot of projection. There's been a lot that we've been triggered by, and a lot rightfully so we could be angry about, but we always need to pull back our projections and ask, where is that true for me? And what do I need to see about that? And this is very important during this time, especially with this energy, Scorpio energy, I feel this energy of shame. And I got to tell you, this week, I know this is where the energy is heating up. I got 4 out of the blue calls from previous clients. Like, can I get in right away? So if you're feeling that, you're not alone. And if you need support, reach for support. Okay. Don't feel like you have to do this alone. Okay. So this eclipse, if you're feeling stuck, you've been delaying, you haven't been taking action on some things. I have some things that are very aligned with this Taurus Scorpio axis, which has to do with taxes. Scorpio is connected to taxes, death, dying, transformation. It's connected to the shaman. It's connected to soul, I think, and the great mystery. So these 2, Taurus and Scorpio, they're here to support us. We just need to have them negotiate a way forward for us. Okay. So what could be helpful during this time where there's a big push, we're going to be pushed or push ourselves and push forward more of our potential, more of our possibilities, this rebirthing process, especially because it's in Scorpio. So what could be helpful is holding a vision. I just taught my Sacred Soul Vision experience online for some women who I thought we have to do this, and 7 women said yes. But it continues. It's not like, okay, we're done now, stop visioning. Vision anytime you feel stuck. And in particular right now, visions allow us something to hold on to. They provide hope. They provide a way forward. They help us get clear on what we need to purge and clear out of the way so we can emerge that vision. Purge what is not working. And again, I already said this may be connected to what you own, your possessions, what you value, your relationships. And I feel this is really important, what you're attached to that's keeping you stuck or dragging you backwards instead of forward. So that Taurus energy, and since we're in Taurus season, Taurus can be very, tenacious and persistent and very possessive. And we're being asked to let go of what no longer works, especially because the South Node is involved in this lunar eclipse. The South Node is about, where we came from, and the North Node is where we're moving towards. So we need to let go of anything that's blocking where we're trying to move forward to. And this Taurus energy, it's hard because it's practical. Well, why would I let go of that? I'm going to use that in like 3 years. This is a time, and this is how I suggest purging. Is the vision I hold for my possible self aligned with this thing, this object, this person, this job? If not, this is where we connect to that Scorpio power, the phoenix rising from the ashes. Be willing to burn away, let go what no longer serves that possible future self that you can be. And we all have access to that. From sometimes when we're just in the flow with our lives, and you have that moment where you go, wow, I'm not worried, I'm not fearful, I'm not judging, I'm just being. And I really like this. I really like what I'm being present to. Maybe you notice more joy, more freedom, more expression, because you're being your authentic self. This lunar eclipse is here to midwife this for you, okay? So don't resist. Breathe deeply and push. So this is a time to really, be gentle with yourself and others, as I said, because we will be seeing subconscious material. And isn't it interesting that we tend to see other people's stuff before we see our own? Well, this is where you call back your projections. If you're judging someone, wonder where that is true for me. Because this inner world is the only world we have control over. And the more we manage and heal and transform and remodel, and in Scorpio's case, reconstruct or demolish what, I remember Marianne Williamson hearing her in a lecture a long time ago saying when she invited God in, surrendering, God, come in and your will be done. She was thinking that she get a little remodel in her, metaphoric house. And she said, God came in with a wrecking ball. And this eclipse, not to alarm at all, just remember what the wrecking ball is for: to deconstruct, destroy, release you from what's blocking your way forward, okay? There was something else I wanted to share. I had a story pop in my mind. Hopefully it'll come back when I was getting my lighting all set up. And I was like, ooh, that's a perfect eclipse story. Oh, give me a minute. I want to see if I can find it. Nope, not coming. Maybe it will. Okay, so be gentle with yourself and others. Practice acceptance and trust. And I already mentioned this, that this may bring up some regret, some shame, and the healing remedy for shame is honor. Honor what you have been trying to do to accomplish what's been calling to you, or honor even that you've been trying your best. And, I always say that when we know better, we do better, maybe. When we know better and we deal with our healing and transformation and update our subconscious mind, we can do better. And I don't know many people who do that. So give yourself grace, because your subconscious mind is running the show. Not to, minimize our personal responsibility, because we need to bring consciousness to unconscious to consciousness and take responsibility for the life we're creating and what we're contributing to our collective. So, but I'm saying do this gracefully, and also honor how far you have come, and also honor your willingness to continue. That's really key, because this is hard work, what we're doing, everybody. This is hard work to be a human on the planet at this time. to witness so much that needs to be healed and resolved, and to witness so much division when our goal is to heal and to unify and to, I don't know why, harmonize. I don't know, that word's coming. Harmonize. We're not in Libra season, but harmonize. I think that means, harmonize. What that feels like to me is harmony. I don't know anything about music, but I think harmony is like a discordant, like there's something about discord that creates the harmony. So accepting the discord as the harmony of our collective, and no longer judging, shaming, blaming, finding a new rhythm. So yeah, this lunation cycle is like where we are in our earth school, our life school is looking at what we've avoided, what's in our shadow. This is a time to do shadow work, to call back what you've put in the shadow because you were judged, because you felt ashamed or afraid, and you hid that. And because it's connected to Scorpio here, you need that shadow energy to integrate it, to rise up as your empowered self. This is the time to heal our wounded self, to rise up as our empowered self, with our soul potential fully activated. How does that sound, everybody? Okay, gosh, I wish this story would have come. It seemed really perfect for eclipse season. What was it? Well, there you go, Mercury retrograde, and me having to be gentle with myself. I should have made a note of it, but I tend to, if I don't write it down right away, it fades away. So I'm being gentle with myself. So as I end here, again, just put your hand over your heart with me, just to take a moment here with me and honor yourself and honor all of us. Maybe you want to repeat out loud with me. I honor where I am. I honor that I've been doing the best that I could do. And I honor that I'm willing to heal and transform what is needed in order to rise up with my authentic, true nature and my soul potential and possibilities. I honor my journey and the journey of everyone else's. May we rise in power with peace and purpose, trusting that all is unfolding in perfect and divine right time. And so it is, my friends, and so it is. Thanks for being with me. Please do comment, like, subscribe if you haven't. Your comments really help me know that I'm kind of reaching somebody out there. I love to know where you're viewing from. I love to know your takeaways. I love to know how you're feeling during this eclipse cycle. Share anything about that. Tell me what your sign is, your moon, your primal 3, your sun, moon, and rising, if you know them. And if you don't, reach out. I'll tell you. And the more comments, the better. So don't feel like you need to just comment once. Comment as much as you like. You have full license to do that. And I do try to comment on all the comments and respond. In fact, I'm committed to that. So I will respond to you there. Okay, take good care of yourself. Really think ahead, feel ahead. What does Friday, May 5th, here in the Pacific Coast anyways, I'm talking about, wherever you are, find out the time where it's happening and when it's happening, and feel into what will be best for you. For me, my husband and I are going to do a fire. It feels like, hello, little bug. It feels like a little guest star. It feels like a real need to do a sacred fire for me, to purge more, to give it to the fire, because it is, again, Scorpio's connected to the Phoenix rising. Give it to the ashes so that from the ashes something new can rise. And remember, once you let go, connect to what you're visioning for and affirm that, empower that, and believe in that, and believe in yourself. Okay, thanks for being with me. All my love. Be gentle. May you be held and embraced in grace as we move through this powerful time together. Much love. Bye-bye.